Football Report powered by the Inside the Birds podcast, brought to you by the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Adam Caplan's here today. We got the breaking news. A.J. Brown, he is out for the game. He has been officially ruled out along with a laundry list of Eagles. Let's dive right into it, Adam. The big news, obviously, A.J. Brown. Today, Nick Sirianni said, well, he's one guy that doesn't have to practice. Well, they're not even waiting. He will not play.
It's good. So let me give you what we're going to do here, Mike, is we're going to give you all the lineup changes, and then listen to our pregame show. We're going to tape it today. We're going to put it up tonight for Patreon members, and everybody else could hear it or hear it. You could watch it. You could just listen if you want. It's 6 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, and we'll have way more in depth. But let me just give you a Cliff Notes version of what the lineup is going to look like. So it'll be Jahan Dotson starting for A.J. Brown. And look, Mike, the Eagles are not a heavy 11 personnel team. They've been switching off and on depending on the opponent. But they only have 4 healthy receivers, so they have till tomorrow, which is Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, to add somebody. And most likely it should be Terrace Marshall, the veteran receiver who had a really good offseason that got hurt. They do have Britton Covey. They could always do that, but he's been here, and they haven't used him. And they also have Quez Watkins, who just got back here. Terrace Marshall makes the most sense. I know people have been pining for Britton Covey, but he's just a punt returner. In today's NFL, he's really a punt returner, not a kickoff returner, though he can do it. So that's the first lineup change. That's the first thing we're going to see. Brandon Graham will not play, which we expected. This is just a ramp-up period. Despite what Vic Fangio said, he hates the ramp-up period, as he let people know. Jory Jackson won't play now. Mike, here's what we think is going to happen. Because the coaches will make that decision, but you're probably going to continue to see, which we have recently, Cooper DeJean as a corner in their base defense. When they go to nickel, you'll see, most likely, you'll see DeJean play nickel, which is what he does. He's great at it. And then you could see Keely Ringo, because that's what they've done. Now, if look, Ringo, the one thing he has not done is getting burned over the top, but he's certainly not looked great. You'd rather not do this, but they don't have anybody else really, Mike, at this point. They've shown no confidence in our guy, Mac McWilliams, who's really drafted to be a nickel player, but he can play outside. He was cross-training training camp. Parry Nickerson is more of a nickel. Now, if the Eagles want to do this, now there's a guy that I'm going to talk about very briefly, then we're going to move on. Ambry Thomas, he's on the Eagles practice squad. He started for a bit for the Niners years ago. He's had a lot of injuries out of Michigan. The Eagles love getting these former 49er draft picks. They also have Tariq Castro-Fields, who's been on and off their roster for 2 years. Ambry Thomas has not probably been here long enough, but, Mike, they probably have to add one corner. So, again, they have till tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern to do that, but we kind of give the outline of what it'll look like at corner. The depth is the major concern there. Cam Jurgens is out. We expected that with a knee injury. With Jurgens, it should be Brett Toth. Now, the good thing is Landon Dickerson has been cleared to play with ankle and back problem. He does not have a game status designation. He will play. Now, the question with Landon Dickerson is we know he could play center because he's really good at it. When he does it, he did it in college. But he's nursing 2 injuries, ankle and back. Do you want him in that crouching position as a center? That to me would be the issue, Mike. And finally here, Azeez Ojulari will not play, which we knew. Vic Fangio broke the news to reporters with a hamstring injury. So right now, Mike, this is what they have, and then we'll give you one more nugget. We'll give you one more note. It's Jalen Sun, who obviously will start. He starts anyway. Josh Uche, who will start. Patrick Johnson, who's done a nice job, Mike. I mean, ideally, you want him as your 5th edge rusher and only playing special teams. But now, Jahad Campbell, Greg Cosell actually kind of explained this. He really didn't. Jahad Campbell really was not an edge rusher last week. He lined up as an add-in defender against the run, kind of like Zach Bond did last year against New Orleans when you first saw it. He really didn't get any true edge rushes. They have no choice, Mike. He's got to play edge rush here. I know Vic would rather not do it. And by the way, this helps Nakobe Dean get on the field. Nakobe Dean did look good in extended time last week. Now, going to their Mike, here's the problem with their practice squad. The only edge rusher they have who knows their system, they have 2 of them. This Titus Leo signed this week, but he's not ready. Antoine Powell-Ryland, Mike, but they've already cut him once. So that's all that they have now as edge rushers. They're really thin there.
Well, there's a lot there, obviously. So the plan without A.J. Brown, you'll see everybody kind of jump up one. And the question would really be, last week we saw them kind of feature the pass. A lot of that was big plays to A.J. Brown. So do you feature that same similar style of offense, or do you have to now change your dynamics and try to lean on Saquon Barkley against a Giant team that doesn't stop the run all that well?
All right, so that's my next point. So their game plan every game is it starts with the run game, as it did last year. We know they're as great as their run game was at best in NFL history for running back to the Super Bowl. It's been the exact opposite, and it's been embarrassingly bad. As one league source said to me, it's 75% their offensive line and 25% Barkley. I said, really, Barkley? Why do you see it that way? He goes, from watching their tape, he tries too hard sometimes because he's got that fever like he had last year. He just wants to break one badly. You can't press it. You got to have to be very careful. And then, look, Mike, the good thing is you saw Tank Bigsby on that 1 yard, one carry for 11 yards. Will Shipley's healthy. Andrew Chicheco and I we have a local radio show, and we interviewed Will. Will explained he explained to us his role. They could lean on the run more. They could try, but Mike, don't forget Devontae Smith had a career day. They threw it to him deep. He did everything. So John Mechie, who dressed but didn't play, he'll be the fourth receiver. And Dotson has got the confidence of the coaches, but a heavy 12 personnel, Mike. Now Grant Calcaterra has been cleared. They still don't use Cam Latu as a tight end. They're using him more as a fullback. I don't understand it. He needs to play more in line. But overall, Mike, it's going to be heavy 12 personnel with two tight ends, two receivers. They'll try to get Barkley the ball early. But you're right, Mike. It worked last week. Now, shot plays worked. Some are off schedule. But Hurts threw the ball unbelievably well in the second half. Is about as good as you could see him throw it. But the issue, Mike, now is, before we get out of here, what's the pass rush going to look like? Do not be surprised if you see Jalen Carter play wide nine. He's done that a little bit lately. Where Ojoma did it last season, and if he does that, you could see Ty Robinson play a little bit, by the way. He's flashed a little bit when he's got a chance to play, number 95, the fourth rounder everybody's excited about. Oh, by the way, Nakobe Dean is an outstanding blitzer. You can do that with him. And look, Drew Makuba could do it. DeJean could do it. We've seen him do it. I mean, there's certain things that Vic can do to be resourceful here. They're just down in numbers, Mike. As my buddy Jordan Rodnan said, and I totally forgot, that's the game 2 weeks ago that Quinton Mitchell got hurt. He's fine, obviously. He's not even on the injury report this week, Mike, to start off the week. But it's going to be hard, Mike. It's not quite what we were thinking during the week, and the dreaded pop-up injury with A.J. Brown. Man, it sucks for fantasy. A.J. Brown started getting going, and then he doesn't play the next week.
Well, and we just had Jordan on about half an hour ago here, and he talked about their secondary, their problems. They're just as banged up, if not more, than Philadelphia. Although Philadelphia's injury report today was pretty lengthy, but they're pretty banged up in this one as well.
Yeah, well, Mike, here's the thing. Mike, with the Giants, Paulson Adebo, the best corner, is out. Deontay Banks has essentially gotten benched. A first rounder, it has not worked out, Mike. They're in trouble. So here's the thing. It's not like you have to pass more. But when you pass it, you should be more successful. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Eagles' approach is. Because they have so many injuries on both sides of the football, this might be one of these games where, it's not quite what we expected for a good thing or bad thing. I don't know, Mike. It's kind of weird. I still think they win. I really do, Mike. But you saw what happened 2 weeks ago. You would think revenge would be on their mind. I'm sure it is. But it's with all these players out, Mike. Honestly, I was going to pick the Eagles to blow them out if they were totally healthy, but they're not. And it's not easy to. And look, the Giants are super competitive despite the record. It's been surprising.
Oh, I agree with that. That's the big thing, is that the Giants last week went on the road to Denver and had a 3-score lead in the fourth quarter of that game. So they are no longer this pushover. To not have A.J. Brown out there, to get Jalen Carter back. He didn't play the last time. You mentioned Quinyon Mitchell. He went out the last time, but no Adoree Jackson. So we'll see it all unfold here. See if the Eagles, their plan this week is going to be very interesting. Do they turn to Saquon Barkley, or do they turn their attention to Devontae Smith and say, hey, we're going to get you more involved this time around? That's what I'm intrigued by, because Adebo being out is a big loss for them.
It is. Paulson Adebo is a good player coming from the Saints, and Deontay Banks. It is amazing when a coaching staff can't stand a player. They don't care what their front office thinks. They won't play him. Brian Burns, by the way, is expected to play. He told the media there, and he got some work in today. Javon Holland won't play. Their best safety. Signed the big free agent deal coming from the Dolphins. That's a big deal. And by the way, they are a big 12 personnel team. But Darius Slayton, at times, by the way, he's been cleared. You know, he's been an injury. He's been an Eagles killer over the years. He's their best deep threat, number 86. But Graham Gano, by the way, we don't talk about kickers much. Graham Gano should be kicking. He's listed as questionable, but he took all the reps this week, and they cut the kid before McTamaney, who's back on the practice squad. So they're going to get Gano back, who's been hurt a lot in his career. But this is an intriguing game. Weather's going to be good, mid-50s, very little wind here at the Link. I can't believe I'm saying this, Mike, but I'm sort of intrigued by this game.
Oh, I mean, well, and listen, we were talking about this earlier before you got to get out of here. Dallas is a dog this week. Washington's a dog. If you could win this game, you would separate yourself by a couple games now because the back end of this schedule after the bye, not easy.
It's harder, much harder. Funny, I already looked at that because they got the bye next week. Yeah, it is much harder. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mike.
All right, Adam Caplan, everybody. A quick football at 4 here on the Sports Bash. The big news, A.J. Brown is out. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.